Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Draft Day Sports College Basketball. This is episode 56. We're in the midst of a tough season. We had a really tough non-conference schedule, and now it turns out that our conference schedule has its own complexities. Of course, you play 8 home and 8 away, but what we've seen out of the first, 10 that we've played and the next 2 on the calendar is that all of our home games are against the bottom teams that we would have beaten anyway and that we probably would have beaten on the road. And all of our road games are at the best teams in the league, which are offering us quite the challenge. So far, we are 2-3 on the road, 5-0 at home. Next up is a couple of road games. We have Missouri State, who are 7-3 at home. They're only 4-6 overall, so this is the one that's a little bit in between. We'll have a little better chance. And then Cornell, who's 5-5 overall, 6-2 at home. So not top teams, but first couple middle teams. If we can at least win one of those two, it'll keep us in a decent position. And then there you go again, an 0-14 road team at home, and then an 8-1 home team on the road. 2-8 on the road, 7-1 at home. This is the first time though that we do have a home game against one of the top teams. So we will literally have a single home game against one of the top half teams. And we have 0 road games against bottom teams, but we do have just the next 2 against mid-tier. So if we can win both of those, that's going to really help our position as we're just 7-3 overall, equal on top, but still very much in jeopardy of even a promotion place this season if we can't win at least 2 or 3, because actually we only have 2 home games left. We have 4 road games remaining, so that means actually we're just 2-2 on the road so far. 1-3. Oh, it's worse than I thought. We are 1-3 on the road so far in this conference schedule. We beat Missouri State 69-52 for just our second road win. 82-74 over Cornell. Big help. We needed those 2 road wins. That makes us just 3-3 on the road so far this season. 6-0 at home overall. That makes us 9-3 in the conference. It's going to at least be equal on top of the standings with 4 to play, and now a balance of 2-2 on those remaining games. And we have pulled ahead just a little bit, though. We've got 4 teams. We've got a 2-game cushion over 5th place. But again, you've got to be top 3 for the automatic promotion guaranteed. That fourth spot comes from that conference tournament. Getting Radford at home, if we can beat them here, that would give us a 2-game cushion with only 3 other games outside of the one we play against each other. That would give us pretty good odds on that one. But we're already done with Hampton, Youngstown State, and we lost to all 3 of them on the road. Manhattan, the easy home game, comfortable win, 25-point victory. Now at 10-3 with 3 to play, one of those against Radford, who are now 2 games behind, so we could put them out of this thing. But it's going to take a very difficult road win at Cal State Fullerton. Now, this is just into the upper mid-table for Cal State Fullerton. 11-13 overall, not great, but here's the key thing about them. They're 2-12 on the road. They are 9-1 at home this year. 9-1. And of course, we're on the road. So we are, we're having to play a team that's 9-1 at home while we are just 9-7 on the road. It's not going to be easy in any stretch of the imagination. This is one of those teams that can't win on the road, but definitely is not losing at home either. And all 3 games down the stretch are going to be tough here. So we have Cal State Fullerton next on the road, and then we have Radford at home. That's our first and only home game against any team in the top half of the standings, but it's the second time we play them. And then we have to go on the road to Dartmouth, who are 8-1 at home. Radford, who we lost to, they're only 8-4 at home. They're the weakest team at home in the top half. And they still managed to beat us. But we could easily lose all 3 of these games and find ourselves, out of the automatic spots. Right now we have that 2-game cushion with 3 to play, and it's looking good. But the schedule is scary, very scary. Let's go ahead and quick sim the first one and see where we're at. 81-83, so close. We have lost 4 road games by a 3 road games by a combined 4 points. So 2 to play. Hampton also lost, so at least there's that. The only team in the top 5 or 6 that won was Radford. So for us, we really, really lucked out on that part. We have 2 to play, and it's not done yet. Now, winning the next one against Radford would make them 9-6. So even if Youngstown State wins their game and goes 10-5, nobody else will have 5 losses. We'd be looking at Hampton, us, and Youngstown State, the only ones with 5 or fewer losses with 1 to play, and we would be on 4 losses. So beat Radford, and we've got the automatic promotion, and that is that home game, and they are just 3-9 on the road. So it might be a done deal, or this could come down to the last day of the season with, well, we would both be at 10-5, and depending on what Youngstown State does, we could already have a 3-way tie at 10-5, and depending on what Hampton does, we could have a 4-way tie at the top of the conference going into that last one. Let's go ahead and quick sim because this is going to be more about what happens in the off season. We've been perfect at home. Let's see if we can keep it up now and put Radford away. With 3 injuries so far this season, injuries have been a factor in this. We've had a couple minors. Crush Radford. Wow, 39 points is all we gave up. That is an insane defensive performance. That should take care of it, right? That should get us into the top 3 now. We've got 1 to play. Where we are entering the conference tournament is what we still have left to go for, but let's go ahead and confirm. In fact, we are now on top at 11-4, Hampton at 10-5, Dartmouth, Radford, Youngstown State, and New Hampshire all in play for the 3rd automatic promotion spot. And look at all those 8 and 7s. I mean, it really, really shows how much better this conference is than a lot of the other conferences we've gone up against. And when you look at the net ranking, that really backs it up. Yes, we are the only one in the top 100, but look at how many top 200s you have as you get down here, and how many close calls you have on top 200s. Realistically, there's only 5 teams that are well out of this thing, and Radford somehow, with a net rank of 272, is 9-6. How they've done that? Well, they've had a pretty favorable. They've had a lot of home games. So is Hampton. Hampton's played a ton of home games, but they've played well home and on the road, and they're definitely the main team you got to watch out for now that we've gotten through this conference schedule and really seen it shape up. Manhattan 9-1 at home, 0-16 on the road. All of these guys down here, we played at home, where it was way too easy. It wasn't even close. But then, crazy schedule this year. Just absolutely crazy. We'd had one year previously that was a pretty tough schedule. This is easily the toughest schedule that we've had. Not in terms of the most ranked opponents or anything, but just the tougher opposition. We've been on the road for all of them. And, we've almost doubled away games to home games, going back into that conference schedule or non-conference schedule, adding that in. So even though it wasn't all the toughest opponents, it was just road game after road game after road game, and then road game against all the top teams. So those 10 home games, 9 of those 10 home games that we had, including the 2 non-conference ones that we had, 9 of those 10 were the 9 easiest games we had on the calendar, not just because we were at home, but because they were the 9 easiest opponents, regardless of home or away. Tough year. The fact that we're 19-8 and still on the verge of another 20-win season is pretty incredible. Let's hope we can win some more games, though. I don't know if we're going to beat Dartmouth here on the road. It may not happen. But now it doesn't matter. We've got the guaranteed promotion, so for this game, we'll just quick sim as we are secure with automatic promotion and into, of course, conference play. Oh, another close loss. Dartmouth 62, For us, 56. Now, the only good news is we are done with road games. That was it. That was our last road game of the year. From here on out, neutral territory. We've struggled to win on the road. We've done so well. We've been perfect at home. Neutral territory is going to play into our hands a little bit more. But I don't think, at 19-9, I do not think that this year, this team, the defense is excellent. The offense, the three-point shooting in particular, the entire group of wings are just not quite there this year. So I do think we are in danger of not only missing the NCAA tournament, but not necessarily making a run, whether it's in the conference tournament, whether that's in, say, the NIT or the third or fourth tier tournaments, whichever the case may be, wherever we end up playing. I don't think we're going to necessarily threaten to, even if we make the fourth tier tournament, I don't think we're going to necessarily threaten to win that thing. First round matchups. Let's go check in how things turned out. So actually, we still end up with the best record as Hampton loses 3 in a row to end the season, where we only won 1 out of 3. They got 0 out of 3. So Dartmouth, Radford, Hampton, Youngstown State, and New Hampshire in a 5-way tie for second place. 2 of those getting automatic promotion based on whatever tiebreaker criteria split that one up. It looks like it's Dartmouth and Radford that are going to get those automatic promotion spots. For me, the Radford one's probably a good thing, as they were the lowest net team. It would have been nice if New Hampshire was the other one, as they both had hot starts. But okay, that's fine. We got the automatic promotion by 1 game. Best record by 1 game. But again, 9-9 on the road just does not give you a big boost of confidence by any stretch of the imagination. First round of the conference tournament about to get underway. Let's see what happens with this one. Day 1 looks like this. Missouri State with the upset over Youngstown State, so that eliminates them from possible promotion. New Hampshire, they win. Macon wins, and Cornell with the upset over North Florida. I do believe that was like a 4-5 kind of matchup. In this case, that would be, 8-9 matchup. So Cornell with a slight upset there. And it is the 14-14 Cornell team who we have to play next. Macon has Dartmouth. That's going to be a tough matchup, as Dartmouth actually has a worse record than Macon overall this season. New Hampshire with Radford on the road. That's going to be a close matchup there, too. Radford's been so much better at home. They'll get home for this one. And then Missouri State with Hampton. Hampton should be able to take care of Missouri State, you would think, especially after that was one of your upset teams. And we get the win against Cornell, 81-69, 12-point victory on that one. And we're into the semifinals now. Dartmouth with the 10-point victory over Macon. New Hampshire upsetting Radford, so Radford finally lose at home. I don't know how many difficult teams they had to play at home, but they had a good home record, not a good road record. But anyway, Hampton, 82-78, just beating Missouri State, setting up the semifinals. Semis look like this. Based on overall records, having to play against Hampton, we definitely got the short straw on this one, as we have by far the harder matchup with 2 teams barely over 500 in that other matchup. We do have that home court advantage, but let's see how we compare with Hampton before we play it. You'd think whoever wins is going to be the favorite in the championship game. Our heavy favorites, according to the scouting report, yet there is not a single advantage at any position, while we have a much stronger bench. But that's it. Their bench actually outscores our bench, though. In fact, they have more statistics to their favor outside of blocks in everything their bench does. Offensively, they're 2 points a game better than we are, but we are better defensively by 7.5 points a game. Similar shooting, though they are much better from three than we are. We make up for a little bit at the free throw line. Assists are similar. Rebounds +4. Blocks +1, 1.5 almost. Steals similar. And turnovers only about 1.7 better. So we clearly have the better defense. But that's about it. Williamson has been our leading scorer, 12 points a game. Their leaders are right about the same. It looks like a lot closer matchup than you would think. Before we play this semifinal, I want to analyze a few things and see if we want to update the depth chart a little bit, favor a few key players to help assure ourselves, because at 20-9, or let's say at 20-10 without a conference championship, I do worry about whether we would make the NCAAs. Our net rank is 66th. That's not going to get better without a win in this round. So I think we would have to at least win 2 out of 3 in the conference tournament to have any chance of that net rank being similar or improving. And right now, I feel like we're a bubble team, very much a bubble team. Net rating is actually good now. It's all the way up to 12th. It was about 23rd. Defensive rating is 9th. That was always high. It was in the teens before, though. But the offensive rating has come up significantly. We were 200-something. Now it's 80th. Field goal percentage has never been good. 3-point percentage is atrocious. It's one of the worst in the country, if not the worst. I don't know, 342nd is where we are. Free throw percentage has actually gone down a little bit, but the other numbers have stayed pretty consistent from last time I checked on this. Defensively, a lot of good numbers. Points allowed, 19th, and we're high in a lot of categories. Steals is actually only just on the high end. Same with blocks. None of them are amazing. Points per game at 109th. We score, but we don't score efficiently with just, terrible shooting. A few basic stats. Williamson, Evans, the primary scorers, the only ones in double digits. McMillian, Seabrooks contribute. Alexander contributes. Woodruff contributes. Anderson has been our best scorer off the bench, though that was already 6, right? Who am I missing? Oh, Alexander. Alexander off the bench has been our top scorer, and then Anderson. Trotty has done well in limited minutes, as similar to the other two. So those 3 have been your best bench guys. Purvis hasn't done much, but his minutes are starting to fall off, as we gave a lot of those to Trotty, and a lot of these statistics kind of show why that is. He's not shooting well, he's not rebounding well. The assists are a little bit better, the blocks are a little higher. Cron has not done much for us. In fact, he's shot pretty poorly, so maybe we take a couple minutes away from Cron, bump those up. Like, the only guy down here that seems to be doing okay is Welsh Gailey. Just 5 minutes for him, but he's shooting 50%. But then he's not shooting the 3 ball, where Cron is kind of okay shooting the 3 ball. Little hit and miss, really. Neither one's standing out. Conference semis tips off here, and we start off with a 3-pointer, something we don't tend to get too many of in a game. I think we've been kind of averaging only maybe 4 or 5 threes a game, so good start there, and it's a 5-0 lead after 1 minute played, but they do get on the board just a moment later. We've already committed 1 foul, but we're up 7-2. We get a steal there. Second chance at it after they commit their first foul, and we've got ourselves a nice early lead on this one. 11-2 now, almost double digits here in just a few minutes played. We just committed 2 fouls back-to-back, though. We do extend the lead to 2 double digits, but I am a little worried about how we just very quickly jumped from 1 foul to 4 in the last, 2 possessions? 5 for 6 from the field is a great start. 1 for 7 for them. Really shows that our defense is making life difficult. We just got to stay out of foul trouble. Having jumped forward a little bit in time, it's now 32-14. Somehow Hampton has the momentum. Don't understand that, because they have scored twice in the last 10 minutes. But whatever the case may be, Williamson, 12 points, 4 for 4 for him already. Woodruff, 4 points on 2 for 2, but only a rebound for him. Purvis off the bench has a few rebounds. Alexander has a few rebounds. So one key player not scoring. But we're up by 21 points right now as we're approaching halftime. Plus 7 in rebounds. Plus 2 in turnovers. 56% from the field, where they are 34% from the field. Despite 9 fouls to their 6, free throws are almost identical. And while not shooting well, 2 for 8 beyond the arc, they are also only 1 for 6. 41-28 though, that gap is closing. Let's go ahead and use that timeout, talk about it, prepare, end their momentum, and see if we can't try to put the half away in a good manner, and we have not done so, as we've had a couple misses here, and they've actually cut that gap down to 10 at the half, as they do make a little run on us there before halftime. Not good on that part. Williamson missed his last attempt, which was a 3, but otherwise you're looking at Purvis, 1 for 6, being a bit of the issue at the moment. Foul trouble, Alexander has 2, Woodruff has 3, Evans has 2. We're okay otherwise. We did keep it down to just 10 fouls, so we really slowed down on that. Turnovers though, 10 for us, 8 for them, actually turned into a negative where it started well. Almost doubling up on the rebounds though, so we are dominating the post. So our 20-point lead is down to 10. Can they cut it further, or can we get back on top here, stretch this thing back out? We're getting the ball down low pretty easily here, but we're just not finishing terribly well. 51% suggests otherwise. We're just not finishing beyond the arc very well, but their field goal percentage is definitely improved there towards the later end of the first half. 9-point game. Another missed 3. But a quick transition bucket there. Easy layup. We finish, but they come down and answer again. And third foul of the half already, and they've got momentum. Timeout. Doesn't end the momentum, but it cut it in half. But then we come out and miss again. It's a 2-point game. How did it go from 9 to 2 in like 2 possessions? Boy, I missed something there. They're still only 2 for 7. Their free throw attempts definitely went up. But yeah, that very, very suddenly switched on us. We've started to build a little momentum, stretching the lead back out slightly here. Can we carry on with that? Rebounding. They are closing the gap on us big time. We've only had a few rebounds this half. They've had quite a few already. Turnovers is a deficit for us. Field goal percentage has dropped below 50, where theirs has stayed steady in the half. 5-point game. 7-point game. We make a couple shots and we're back ahead. Well, we never trailed, but I mean, the lead has stretched again. They seem really quick to get momentum. They get the ball and they have momentum. Unless we score. But every single time that they've gained possession where we went without scoring, they seem to build momentum. 6-point game. We've scored 2 in a row here. They score 1, and then they have momentum again. Or at least they ended our momentum. Trip to the free throw line, but only 1 for 2 on that occasion. 65-60. Down to 5 minutes. This game is definitely not over yet. We're going to start slowing this thing down, focusing in on. So our rebound advantage, which was +9, I think, at the half, is down to +4. We have 10 blocks. We have 8 steals. We are dominating the post, but the turnovers, -1. We just got our 11th block, 6-point game. And Woodruff converts that one, 68-60, 4 minutes to play. Anderson, 9 points off the bench. Woodruff has 6. Foul trouble with this group, 4 fouls for both Alexander and Woodruff. We do have some good backups. It's okay. And we just scored Alexander there. Now it's 70-60. And yet they have the momentum. We have scored 4 straight, 6 straight, whatever it was. Williamson just scored again. And yet we aren't building momentum. We're on, I believe, an 8-0 run. And yet we have no momentum. 3 minutes to play. 9 fouls to their 10, by the way. McMillian goes to the line. That was a quick foul. Was that intentional? It's out to 14 now. 2.5 to play. Man-to-man on the D. They are running a motion offense at the moment, and we get the steal. Woodruff, it didn't show. He does have 1 steal. He has 1 block. I don't know if he did one of those. Woodruff with the rebound, 14 points. Do we want to slow the offense? Slow the offense down. Minute 30. We want to really crash the boards here. Offensive crash boards. No, we want to stop the fast break. Minute 15. 16-point game. They get 2 free throws on that occasion. Cut it to 14. 1 minute left. Defense intensity. Don't need the full court right now. 50 seconds. 14-point game. No score on that occasion. Williamson with the missed. It was blocked. And they get the 18-foot jumper. Cut it to 12. 30 seconds left. Should do it. We should have this covered. That make from Alexander probably seals the deal. 19 seconds. Quick turnover. Transition bucket for Alexander. And that does seal it. 16-point win. 4 seconds left anyway. 80-64. They don't even get off the final shot. Defense keeps them locked up tight. 80-64 rebounds, gets back out to +9. Turnovers, gets back to a +1. Exactly 50% from the field. Perfect sample size. 25 makes, 50 overall attempts. So 25 makes, 25 misses. They were similar. They had 30 misses, though, and 22 makes. Free throws, 28 of 34. Talk about sealing the deal from the line. We were +10 from the free throw line. That was the biggest difference in this game. Both teams, terrible beyond the arc. 2 for 12, 2 for 13. Williamson leading the way, though. 8 of 11, 22 points, 4 rebounds. In the paint, 28-10. Massive advantage. Did anybody end up fouling out 4 and 4? No. Kept out of the fouling out scenario. But again, I have enough depth, and it's always the post players that end up committing the most fouls. Evans with 5 turnovers today. Seabrooks, just a few, but also just a few assists. McMillian, much cleaner there, but he also has less pressure. Point guard playing the shooting guard position is going to almost always have an advantage that point guard being defended by point guard isn't going to necessarily have. That off-ball extra pass. New Hampshire with a 71-59 upset over Dartmouth is going to get all the way to the championship game here, and that means they should be claiming the 4th spot. They were 10-6, so New Hampshire was not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but according to this chart, myself, Dartmouth, Radford have the automatics. New Hampshire will have the 4th. So Hampton and Youngstown State getting left behind for another year in Conference O. For me, the good news is you have the 219 net, the 254 net, 2 teams that aren't quite as good going through, which means it'll be a little easier next season if that's our opposition. Championship game against Hampton, who are just 17-13, whatever that was, 17-14 overall. Not a great season for them, but they are one of those 10-6 teams. So, they did okay in the league. They're definitely not bad. They are going to present a challenge, but we should be the favorites to win here. I do want to see it out, though. We're not going to take our chances because I do not think we are guaranteed a tournament berth at this point. Now, 2-1 in the conference tournament is not going to hurt our ranking. It's not going to hurt our net ranking. It's going to stay the same or get better. but it's on the bubble right now, and not winning the conference championship, I think very much would still have us on that bubble. We did get to our 20 wins, and what are we on now? 21. So, for that, we have an argument to get into the tournament, but we're at such a small level from such a small conference that with that kind of record, I wouldn't necessarily say we're in. I would not say we're in. In fact, we've really only had one reputable win all season during that non-conference schedule. We lost to the difficult teams, except one. 19-8 right now in this game, 21-8. So we are pulling ahead early on, and we'll keep things moving along at least through this first half. Seabrooks has 3 points. Williamson has 5. Evans also has 5. Nobody's shooting terribly. 1 for 3 is the worst performance at the moment. +4 on rebounds, +4 on turnovers, 58% from the field. While they are 4 of 17, 23%, 0 for 6 beyond the arc. We happen to be 3 for 5 beyond the arc right now. So we are really putting up some solid numbers early on. Fouls, slight problem with 7, but there's only 6 minutes to go in the half, and we are literally doubling them up. It's 26-13, so our defense is completely stifling them. Offensively, 28 is probably right about where we should be. I mean, we've made 12 field goals in 16 minutes. We're making less than 1 a minute. It's not like we've scored a ton. We have a single free throw. They're 9 for 11 from the line. That's what's keeping them in this game. That's half their points. But anyway, down to 13. They do have a little run going here. But we end that with a big three-pointer and stretching the lead back out to 18. Another foul. Oh. And another foul. They ended up with 4 free throw attempts on that possession. Making the first, missing the second. Going to the line and getting 2 more attempts. Halftime, 43-26. Looking good on that part. Let's jump right into the second half. Evans, 5 for 7. Standout performance in the first half. So I still don't think we're guaranteed. Now, things are looking good at the moment in this game. Hopefully continues in this trend, and we can seal the deal and win the conference championship, and then we can take that sigh of relief and know that we've got the guaranteed bid, and our 5th conference championship would be awesome. But yeah, the record we have, the net ranking we have, how poor our offense has been throughout the year, I don't think we're a guarantee. I don't think we're a lock. So losing here could still see us go to the NIT or something along those lines. I think we are good enough that we are guaranteed one of the 4 tournaments. But I think we're very much a bubble team right now, which means, NIT could be in our future if we don't win. But we're up by 20. Looking good. -2 on rebounds. But that's going to happen a little bit when we have 17 defensive rebounds. They have 10 defensive rebounds. We have 2 offensive rebounds. So, the rebounds aren't great, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that today, unlike previous days, we're not missing. They've missed 23 field goals. We've missed 19. Now, attempts is part of that, isn't it? So, okay. Maybe there's not a huge advantage on that. You're more likely to grab a defensive than an offensive rebound. Anyway, turnovers-wise, +10 advantage. We have 7 blocks and 11 steals. Where they have 7 blocks too. I mean, they're equal there. But 11-3 on the steals. Huge advantage for us. 23 points up. 8 minutes to play. It's looking good right now. Trotty, 12 points. Williamson has 10. 4 of 8 shooting. Purvis, another day, another struggle. 1 for 4 for him. 70-48 now. Now 70-50. 6 to play. Time is on our side. Fouls are level at 9. Defensive crash boards a little more. Make sure we're getting those rebounds. We don't need the fast break. In fact, we want to stop a fast break from happening, so we're going to back off on the offensive crash boards a little bit. Get back into that defensive slate. We're not missing a whole lot anyway, though we have dropped below 50%, so we're missing a lot more than we were. The lead has been cut to less than 20, but a three-pointer there gets it right back exactly to 20, 78-58. Just over a minute to play. Fifth conference championship is coming. That is good. That is very good. And this will guarantee an NCAA tournament berth as we wrap things up. It's 82-63. -4 on the rebounds, but like I said, a lot of that I think has to do with the fact that we just weren't missing anywhere near as much as they did. 50% from the field to their 36, and the turnovers, the other big key. And we actually made a few three-pointers today. Still not a great percentage, but it helped. So the final regular season record is 22-9. Prior to entering the tournament, of course, from here, at most, we're going to see a 10th loss, and we could see some additional wins. Far from our best year, but we've absolutely done enough in the end, and we do get to claim a conference championship. Back-to-back conference championships, by the way, though obviously climbing the ladder along the way. But we continue to move up. We're definitely starting to break into the middle of this tiered system. We're definitely not fighting at the bottom anymore. And the middle does become more likely to get that second, third place, ins. 22 wins, I would say, yeah, that's probably going to be enough, right? And net rank is going to move up after winning all three of those games, and I think we'll be top 60. So now we'd be good. 21-10, a little less so. 11-5 regular season plus, 2-1, so 13-6 in Conference O against no teams in the top 100 net ranking. It's a little iffy. No matter where those wins and losses came, no matter how harsh the schedule was, that kind of record against that kind of prestige level, it's only going to get you so much. But we don't have to worry about it. We won the conference championship. That takes care of that. That is also going to take care of this episode, though. I'm a Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.